Alright guys, welcome to a brand new video today. I hope you're all doing well. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the Halloween TV series. Obviously, over the last few weeks we've taken like a further step into knowing slightly what the Halloween TV series is going to hold for us. So what I wanted to do today is go over, I've literally only done about 4 to 5 tops. I think it's actually just 4. Yeah, literally just 4 characters today. So I might do a part 2 to this, possibly. Obviously, we don't really know who's going to be in this TV series. We don't even know if we're going to be getting all of these characters that I've listed. But I'm just going to give you guys some of the actors, actresses of, what my maybe, I would probably say dream cast would be for a TV series. Obviously, I'm thinking of this as if we're going back to 1978. So getting straight into it, we're going to go with the main guy already, Michael Myers. I feel as though there's only one man I definitely want to see play a young 1978 Michael Myers, and that would be Aaron Armstrong again. I think what we got in Kills with him, and I know he did a little bit in Ends, but obviously more so the Kills flashback, it was absolutely perfect. Obviously, the mask was great. The overalls look great, and that definitely added to it, but that guy knows how to move like Michael, and it was amazing for the brief amount of time we did get to see him. So I just think he's got to reprise that role, and, we give him a full film as it. James Dew Courtney was near enough faultless as Michael, to be honest, as well, but I think we get a younger guy. It's going to be still a few years till this TV series is maybe even being filmed, 3-4 years. So I just think Aaron Armstrong is the perfect choice for that time frame. So he's my Michael Myers. I didn't put any other option down. Next up, we're going to go with our Laurie Strode-esque character. Obviously the main protagonist as such. For this, if I'm honest with you, I've put down quite a few options. Most of these are just kind of honorable mentions of people that I'm sure would absolutely smash it. And with one of them as well, something that was said recently by them, it would be like, it could be the opening to them joining it, which is crazy because I'd put this actress's name down before this statement was made, I believe. But yeah, either way, I didn't see the statement until literally this morning before I was going to film this, so it's quite crazy. But for whatever reason it was, the first actress that came to my mind was Maya Hawke. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys, if not all of you guys, are going to know this girl from Stranger Things. And what I think I like about Maya Hawke being the next Laurie, if you want to call it that, or whatever this character is because, yeah, she is a main character in Stranger Things, but at the same time, she's not big enough to the scale of like a Millie Bobby Brown or a Sadie Sink. And I also think her look, of the idea of her playing a character in 1978 or, that time period, I really do think she'd make it look amazing. But yeah, Maya Hawke was definitely the first one that came to mind for me. Another actress that came to mind slightly was Mary Mauser, I think you say her last name. And she is one of the main characters in Cobra Kai. I'm guessing that's where a lot of you guys will know her from if you do know her. There are, of course, some real obvious options of people I would love to, take these main roles. Some of the ones I've listed are Sadie Sink. I think she'd be very good in the role. Sydney Sweeney, she's the interesting one because the kind of vibe I get from her is that I think she'd be really good and well suited actually to a Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. I think she just has that look about her. I don't know what it is exactly, but I can really see her out there playing like a kind of Texas character. I think she'd really suit that franchise actually. But she did recently say, I think it was at one of the like premieres or red carpets for Immaculate, about her admiration for Jamie Lee Curtis and, Halloween and how that started everything. And, it is a little passing comment of her, just obviously giving some credit to Halloween, which is really cool of her to do as well. But it is interesting that she says it as a TV series is kind of, now really under development. And I mean, just imagine if she was cast as a main character. I think it would be great. Jenna Ortega is another one where, I would have no complaints with seeing her be like a main protagonist in this series. And then I put down 2 more names, which was Millie Bobby Brown, obviously, rising star. She's just doing more and more and more. So that would be an interesting one, possibly. It wouldn't be one that I'd exactly like necessarily favor. And then another name that I had put down, but I kind of looked at how she looks now, and I mean, she still looks great, but in terms of playing like a 17 to 20-year-old, I think it might be a little bit not fit in now, but it was, I don't know if I'm saying this right, but I think you say it, Taissa Farmiga. You know, you may know her from American Horror Story or The Nun. You know, she's no stranger to horror-themed film series, so I feel like her a few years ago would have been a really good option, especially when, if you have seen American Horror Story, you know, like the first couple of seasons or few seasons, I think she had like the perfect innocent look to her. So yeah, they're the people that I've gone for like a Laurie Strode type of character, but I do want to give, and just one more honorable mention, sorry, to, I didn't know her real name, but her name is McKenna Grace, and she's just been in Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I have not seen it, but I've heard a few YouTubers say that she could be a good option going into the future, and I can't disagree with it. I think, you know, having Googled her and really seeing what she looks like, I'm sure she'd be good for the role. She is actually very young herself. I think she's like 17. Yeah, she's 17. She was born in 2006. So, you know, in a few years, it could be perfect timing, really. But let's move away from Laurie Strode now, and let's get on to a Dr. Loomis. There were two names that popped into my head straight away, and they're the two that I've written down. I haven't added any more, but weirdly, when I was writing out this video, I was watching the new Batman. I just put it on in the background, and Jeffrey Wright obviously plays James Gordon in that film, and it got me thinking about his other films, and he's a very strong actor, and you know, while I understand he doesn't necessarily have the resemblance to Donald Pleasance, I think he'd deliver a very good performance. So he was one of my options, and the other one is one that I'm not too sure what you guys are going to think on this one, if I'm completely honest. I'm sure there are better options, but for some reason, Stanley Tucci came into my head. Stanley Tucci, to me, has always come across as he's a very extravagant actor, but he can really get into different characters. Like, I don't know if a lot of you guys are going to know this. Well, you're going to know the film, I imagine, but I don't know if you've seen it or if you knew it was him. But in the film The Lovely Bones with Saoirse Ronan, he actually plays the killer in that film. I believe his name is George Harvey. But if you watch that film and then go and watch Devil Wears Prada, you know, this guy has serious range, like, and I just have this feeling he'd do a solid job. Obviously, I'm not sure, but I just have this feeling he would be a very good choice. You know, the look isn't that far off. Obviously, yeah, it's not Donald Pleasance, but I think the idea of getting somebody that is just like him, and I don't mean in looks, I mean like the way he acts, is going to be very, very difficult, and is going to be a task to pull off. So with it being a kind of creative reset, I think let's let Donald Pleasance have his portrayal and let that, you know, be untouched almost. And let's bring someone new in with a similar, yes, but their own Dr. Loomis, just so that pressure of living up to 1978 isn't necessarily there and living up to Donald Pleasance, because I think that task, when you know, you're faced with the hardcore fans of Halloween, in a way, I think you're kind of setting up to fail slightly, maybe. So yeah, they're my choices for Dr. Loomis, but we're going to get into our last one now, Sheriff Brackett. I have two names for this as well. I have the guy that I'm going with, but the guy that I'm going with wasn't my first option that popped into my head. My first option was David Harbour. You know, Stranger Things, he was in the new Gran Turismo. I really like him in the role of a sheriff. I think he plays a real authority character very well. The only issue I came to is that David Harbour is 6'2", 6'3" nearly. Now, part of me thinks, does that almost make Michael scarier, that he could, you know, finish off Sheriff Brackett if he wanted to? Or is it gonna maybe like undermine Michael and make him feel a little bit like, or look a little bit belittled at times? I'm unsure on that. I want to know what you guys think, if you think the height of David Harbour would affect the feel and the threat of Michael at all. But the option that I'm going with is actually Kiefer Sutherland. I don't think he'd do a bad job at all, and I actually think he kind of has the face of, you know, like I can almost imagine him in the uniform. So my pick for Sheriff Brackett is going to be Kiefer Sutherland. David Harbour follows it very closely. And yeah, that's kind of it for this video. Let me know, of the people that I've listed in this video, who your picks would be. Do you agree with some of them? Would you change some of them? Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see in the, you know, next couple of years, I guess, you know, what the developments are with this series. Leave a like if you did enjoy, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.